right, gardening friends, so let's talk through the last step in the winterizing process, or what could be the last step. If you are choosing to divide your tubers in the fall, this is what my setup kind of looks like when I do that. So I kind of took a little bit off of this fuzzy wuzzy already, so you can see the beginning tuber would look something like this, all of the roots still intact. And I've since trimmed this one down, so I've got my cups of bleach water solution over here to sterilize my tools. And so now what I need to do is decide how I'm going to store this. Am I going to store it as a clump, or am I going to store it as individual tubers? So for this one, I know either way, this mother tuber is probably not going to help produce much next year. They're usually only good for 1 year. So I am going to take my shears and I'm going to find a safe place that I can cut and just take that mother tuber off. I'm also going to trim down the stem on this one a little bit. And then this one, I can see where one of these has some viable eyes, but I'm not so sure about the other two. So I may just store this one as a full clump. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to take one of my pre-prepared bags, and you can tell that peat moss has enough moisture in it because just these, in the half hour or so I've been having them sit a little bit in the sunlight, they've gotten a little steamy on the inside. So from here, we're going to open this up, and I'm going to gently nestle that tuber down into my peat moss mixture. I'm going to wipe off, I had kind of dipped these in bleach, wipe off the tag that goes with it. Kind of stick that down the front of the bag here. And I'm going to zip these closed, leaving a little bit of air in there. And then I'll also label the bag as well. All right, so to show you in a little bit more detail what I'm looking for. So here's the body of this Thomas Edison tuber. These bumps are just something called lenticels. So it just is a sign that we had a pretty damp spring into summer during the growing season this year. But what I'm looking for is that it has a good neck right here, no breakage in that neck. And then what I'm looking for, if you can see that kind of brownish little point right there, that is an eye. So that is what will produce a new sprout next year. And I believe this one even had, yep, one more right there. This one's a little white in color. I'm going to try and zoom in here and hope that it maintains focus, but that's what I'm looking for, are those little eyes. So that one right